nowego formatu, między innymi Nathan Granner, który dziś wraz z Krzysztofem...
Meanwhile,
people killing, people dying, children hurt and men crying. When you practice what you preach, would you take ownership?
nowego formatu, między innymi Nathan Granner.
Okay. I think we're streaming. I'm not sure. I've been kind of setting up this stream, this podcast, whatever. I don't know. It's Friday. F it Friday. Listen. Welcome. My name is Nathan Granner. Friends, this is my real life, and today in my real life, it is the release of the new opera, the new arrangement of the new opera, Goodbye, Mr. Chips, now streaming, now available on CD, box set, beautiful, huge record, recorded at Skywalker Sound in Marin County. Listen, Gordon Getty, hats off to you, friend, for creating an amazing score. This is one of the best new operas, and I'm biased. This is one of the best new operas that has come out. We started this thing, this process as a live opera. It was supposed to be live, performed at Festival Napa Valley in the summer of 2021, and because of COVID, that got canceled. Brian Stauffenbiel convinced Mr. G to do a film. And so all of a sudden, here we were making a movie, an opera movie, no less. And we went into the Conservatory of Music in San Francisco. They had taken out all of their telephone lines and put in the audio cabling and stuff like that. And they called this thing called the Dante system. And the Dante system, they hooked it all up. It's full duplex sound. Every practice room, every room in the conservatory was set up to record in real-time sound. So, actually, I started this thing thinking that I was going to be playing the part of Old Faulkner or something like that. In the live version, I got this phone call, though, sometime in the winter of 21, and they were like, or late winter 21, they were like, hey, would you like to play Mr. Tibbs? And I'm like, yeah, Mr. Tibbs, the teacher, and was it what? Wait, what? So I was like, whatever, I hadn't really looked at the score all that much, honestly. Then I got off the phone, and they were like, and then I was like, Mr. Chips? Mr. Chips! Oh my God, they want me to play Mr. Chips! So, all of a sudden, I'm like, oh my God, we have to record this, we gotta do this, and I was already gonna be in my first Carmen as Don Jose in Orlando, and we had to get out of that contract, and I bought a beach tent and went to Long Beach, Rosie's Beach, where the dog beach, full wind, that beach. Set up my tent, and day after day went out there and started working on Mr. Chips. And what an amazing experience this whole thing has been. Listen, we'll take a listen to the first little bit of Goodbye, Mr. Chips, available now, online streaming on Apple Music, on Idagio, IDAGIO.com, Spotify, all the other Tidal, totally available. Let's roll through. Let's see. Here we go. we're gonna transition, and we're gonna open it up for the first time here. Check this out, friends. Is this thing working? Is this working? Wow. So that's track one of Goodbye, Mr. Chips. For everybody, for all intents and purposes, this is version 2. Let's just say it's version 2, or even like 2.5 or something like that. So yeah, we recorded at the conservatory, and then in the summer of 21, we went to Treasure Island, and like the experience for me was I got into this hangar, right? You go on Treasure Island, which is a little island in San Francisco area, in the Bay Area, and it was the first this side of the world convention, like it was like a huge event, right? This is just big convention happening in the 30s, and they had built all of these structures and sculptures and stuff like that. So I go into this hangar, right? It's just a huge airplane hangar. Later on, they used it as a naval base for subs, and it was like disgusting. The city cleaned it up and turned it into something that people could actually like hang out on, right? And it was so amazing. I'm telling you, there these giant sets. There's like 6 different sets in this hangar, right? It was the entire soundstage was filled, like the house of Mr. Chips in the middle. It could turn around. There's the Brookfield School. There's this whole thing. So we like filmed this whole thing in this soundstage. It was freaking amazing. Later on, about a year after we finished the film, Mr. G found that he wanted to change some of the music. And as a composer who is living, you get a chance to do that. So let that be a lesson to you composers out there. You can change your stuff. It doesn't have to be just one thing, right? I mean, look at Verdi and Un ballo in maschera. I think are there like 7 versions? One version is even based in New York. Go figure. So he wanted to change that and make a completely new recording from it. So we would essentially have the film, we'd have the soundtrack from the film, and then we'd have the official album. We go in to Hume Hall at the conservatory and start recording, and Mr. G had made some changes, and then he really, I think he wanted to kind of revamp the entire score a little bit. So by the time he was finished kind of revamping some of the orchestration, we were out of scheduling time at the conservatory hall, so we were going to move to a new location. But it turns out you move to a new location, the sound is completely different, and we couldn't have that. So we actually had to scrap this thing. We had to scrap part 2 and reschedule. And we literally finished. We like went in 24, spring or another late winter of 24, and re-recorded everything, big orchestra. We were all in isolation booths and finished that up. And then our producer Leslie Ann Jones at Skywalker Sound worked all summer putting all the tracks together. I mean, listen, there's nothing like putting together an opera, and there's nothing regular about doing an opera recording. Nothing regular about it. It's incredibly complex, because you've got, even if you're all in one space, you still have a bunch of takes, and then there's room sound. There's like, somebody could have dropped a door, a phone. I mean, everybody had their phones put away in another room, but I mean, it just depends on what's happening, whether you get a good take. And it was kind of a crazy session to begin with, and then Leslie taking a good amount of time to really work on this, get the transitions going. I mean, it was such a huge task. So fast forward to this past December. We went back to Skywalker Sound in Marin and recorded Plump Jack. So this is Gordon Getty's first opera, Plump Jack. Goodbye, Mr. Chips is Gordon's fourth opera. So Plump Jack he wrote quite some time ago, but it wasn't really finished. And he finished this score. We had some orchestral run-throughs, and then finally got to Skywalker Sound last December, and recorded Plump Jack. So after that session was over, Leslie brought me and Lester, who's playing Maryvale in Goodbye, Mr. Chips, and Lester's Falstaff in Plump Jack. Kevin Short, who is Ralston and Rivers in Goodbye, Mr. Chips. He's playing King Henry the Fourth in Plump Jack. So me and Lester and Kevin Short are in the control room, and like Leslie and Dan, the main engineer, like grab these speakers, and they're like put all these speakers around. This is what I'm saying. It's like 13.1 surround sound, really, when it comes right down to it. So you can stream this in high definition sound, Dolby Atmos, or you can get the CD, and if you've got like crazy speakers and stuff, you can play that thing. So she sits us down in the middle of the control room, and listen, it is like this dynamic sound starts pumping out of these speakers. And there's one part in Goodbye, Mr. Chips, where Chips is this teacher at an all boys private school in the Victorian era, the end of the Victorian era, the late 1800s going into the 1900s, right? So he's there at this school from the time when he's in his 20s all the way to when he finally passes away at 85. 63 years he's teaching Latin at this school. So in this one part, World War I is happening, and there's the air raid sirens go on, and he trucks the kids to the bomb shelter, and he's teaching these kids a lesson about war and these by using a Latin text that the Romans had written. So he's like rocking the kids through this text, and the bombs are going off, and this room, the control room, is literally shaking, because I mean, look, it's Star Wars, right? It's like Indiana Jones. It's the Marvel universe. Like there are sounds that this is like the preeminent sound effect group creating soundscapes in the world, like Industrial Light and Magic, George Lucas. I mean, this is where that all stems from, right? So we're just like, Goodbye Mr. Chips is suddenly like a huge cinematic movie sound, man. And this album. This is what is out today. Listen, congratulations to Mr. G. Congratulations to the cast who've been through all of this. Congratulations to Leslie and Skywalker Sound, Rourke Music, all the folks who have been working so diligently on this project to get it started, completed, and finally to your ears for you to experience as a film and now as this new version. So I'll play you out. Listen, just listen to the thing. It's really great. Excuse me. Pardon. Okay.
Chips was the son of the field, but yet is a teacher there, living the last 22 of their hair. Across the street at Mrs. Wickett's, then a kind of semi-retirement there, he remained the guest of honor at Brookfeldian dinners. He was the court of appeals in matters of Brookfield history and tradition. He knew all of the students to the end, greeting them all by name as they tipped their caps to him on the street or on the playing fields. I had been calling on him at the last every fortnight or so. He seemed as pale as always at dawn of an afternoon. In 33, he greeted me at the door, asked of my wife and our children, our plans for the winter, all rounds and warmth and stock, the same old chips. But 85 is a ripe old age,
Mr. G was
and
85
he had caught a chill
based on James Hilton's novel Goodbye Mr.
that wanted watching.
This opera is about the story is about his father. There you go. He's like, how you doing? What's going on?
Fitter than I am, I'll take us all. Stay indoors for a while, even so, and early to bed. You know how to ring me, night or day, if the sniffles act up. So I will, good Maryvale. nothing wrong with me, except Anno Domini, and that hunts us all down at the last. It's tea and soup and blankets for me just now, and memories, a treasury of everything, a treasury, wonderful memories, all but a few, and 63 years of living. One day perhaps, when you have time, I have now, I would very much like to hear them. Memories then.
Oh.
I arrived here in 1870, age 22. First having taught for a year at Medbury, it was all Weatherby's last year as headmaster. He said, I see you had discipline problems at Medbury. No matter, this is a new start. Our boys and theirs are the kindest.
And there you have that. So that's the beginning of Goodbye, Mr. Chips. You heard the kids singing the alma mater Omnis Praetum, and then Lester Lynch singing the part of Merryvale, and of course me coming in as Mr. Chips. There's a cast change in this record. In the film, we have Marnie Breckenridge as Kathy. Legendary. If you know Marnie, then you know, like, she's just a historically talented soprano. But the album, the official album has Melody Moore in it. So they kind of swapped roles here. I mean, it's just going from one rich blessing to another. Melody being her own legend on her own, historically talented soprano. My gosh, everybody in the cast is, of course, hugely amazing, right? So you don't have to worry about the quality of the singers, the cast, the recording. I mean, everything is just super top notch. Enjoy yourselves in listening to this. I feel like this opera and this recording is great. Like, if you're going for a drive, if you're sitting there, in the evening, or you have some time and you want to, just listen to some great music and really, listen to this opera and enjoy it and experience it, you can do that. So driving, take a train. I mean, going down the coast on the train, having this in your headphones. My goodness, great times. Also, you can go gardening. This is my test for a good album. Can you listen to it straight on? Can you listen to it, on some, small speakers? Can you listen to it on a train? Can you listen to it when you're gardening and it's blasting in the next room, or out, inside and you're outside? If you can do that, you've got a good record on your hands. And I'm telling you, this is grand stuff. Enjoy. You can get the album at panetonemusic.com. And that's the CDs, the box set. Again, just beautiful packaging there. To stream it, like I'm doing on Apple Music. My favorite actually is idagio.com. IDAGIO. Idagio is a fantastic classical music streamer. Also Spotify, Apple Classical, Tidal. It's there for you. So take a listen, have a good time, enjoy it. I'll see you soon. And this is Nathan Granner saying, this is my real life. Ciao for now.